The modern world we live in is complex, ever-changing, and saturated with information. Have you ever been hurt by sharp words or had your emotions stirred by someone's insensitive behavior in a relationship? Especially when you know they don't mean harm, but interacting with them is just so unpleasant when their self-centered words make you feel like shutting down your heart. It's a universal struggle. Why do we feel this pervasive discomfort? And does this connection, the karmic bond with such a person, truly hold any meaning? How can we deal with this deep-seated, smoldering discomfort, this heaviness in our hearts? This crucial question, shared by many modern people, is answered by the teachings of Buddhism, which were spoken over 25 centuries ago, shining a surprisingly clear and warm light on our predicament. Buddhism doesn't tell us, just put up with it. Instead, it gently guides us, saying, understand the mechanism of suffering and walk the path to freedom from its causes. In this video, we will carefully unravel the deep wisdom of the Buddha, offering you accessible words to lighten your worries and restore your peace of mind. I hope that the burden on your heart will become a little lighter through this learning. A long time ago, in a small village in ancient India, lived a young man named Ko. Ko was diligent and kind-hearted, yet he was deeply troubled by his relationship with an elder in the village, a man named Sajan. Sajan was by no means an evil man, but he constantly spoke only of his own successes and opinions, rarely listening to the people around him. Whenever Ko tried to confide in him and open his heart, Sajan would quickly interrupt, saying things like, "You are still better off than I was when I was young," or, "If you follow my advice, you won't go wrong," dominating the conversation with unsolicited advice and boasts. Every time Ko interacted with him, he felt an undeniable, directionless displeasure and deep exhaustion, as if his very presence was being ignored. One day, Ko could bear it no longer and went to see the renowned sage, who meditated quietly in the forest at the edge of the village. The sage, merely by looking at Ko's face, smiled calmly as if he saw through all his inner conflict. Ko tearfully confided all the emotions he felt concerning Sajan. "I know he doesn't mean ill. That's why I hesitate to push him away. But every time we interact, my heart is troubled, and I feel like shutting down. Should I be learning something from this relationship? How can I get rid of this discomfort?" The sage closed his eyes quietly, and then slowly began to speak. "Ko, your suffering arises from resistance to Sajan, not behaving as you expect him to. The Buddhist teaching states that suffering is born from attachment, upadana. You hold an unconscious attachment to Sajan. I want him to respect me, and I want him to listen to me. Sajan's behavior is like a flame arising from his own ignorance, avijja, meaning his unawareness of the truth and his deep-seated habit of self-centeredness. That flame is merely creating ripples on the surface of your heart. However, you cannot extinguish that flame. Sajan is living within his own karma action and consequence." The sage continued, "The discomfort you feel is a natural movement of your mind, reacting, 'This is not what I want.' There is no need to forcibly suppress that emotion. But there is also no need to be imprisoned by that discomfort. Just observe it, thinking, "This person is currently living within his own world." This connection with Sajjan is a mirror for you. It offers you an opportunity to learn not about the other person's faults, but about the movement of your own mind reacting to that situation. In other words, what you need to learn is not about Sajjan, but about your own mind itself when it encounters Sajjan's words and actions. Having received this teaching from the sage, Ko spent several days in a corner of the village, deeply looking within himself. He recalled his interactions with Sajjan, and, just as the sage had taught, began to objectively observe the emotions. He felt simply discomfort, feeling ignored, or anger. He named the emotions and watched them appear and disappear in his mind, like observing the movement of clouds from afar. A few days later, when he met Sajjan again at a village gathering, Ko decided to practice the sage's teaching. The moment Sajjan began to speak in his usual one-sided, slightly overbearing tone, instead of the gut-wrenching displeasure he used to feel, Ko consciously labeled it in his mind, "Ah, here it goes again." This is a sound created by Sajjan's habit of self-centeredness. Surprisingly, Sajjan's words and attitude no longer felt like a personal attack. As much as before, Ko's heart began to maintain a calm surface, stepping away from Sajjan's flaying. Ko neither forced a pleasant demeanor nor angrily shut him down. He simply waited quietly for Sajjan to finish speaking, intentionally creating a space of allowance within himself, rather than just pretending to listen. And the moment Sajjan paused to catch his breath, Ko quietly responded with only one sentence that validated the elder's internal world, "I see. That sounds very important to you." This small change created a remarkable ripple effect in his relationship with Sajjan. Perhaps because Sajjan didn't sense the usual resistance or awkward silence from Ko. He became even more absorbed in his own stories. Yet, on the other hand, he noticed Ko had become calmer and began to feel a little more connected to him. Above all, Ko's own inner peace took root. He was liberated from the state where his emotions were controlled by Sajjan's actions, and he reclaimed the sovereignty of his own mind. For Ko, Sajjan was no longer a source of trouble, but had transformed into a mirror for training his own mind. So, why do we feel displeasure toward that person and want to shut them out? Let's deeply analyze the structure of this problem in modern society. It arises from what Buddhism calls craving, trsna, a strong desire for things to be a certain way, and the resistance that arises when that desire is not met. Specifically, in relationships, we harbor an unconscious expectation that I want to be respected, and I want my time and feelings to be valued. When someone speaks without consideration or talks only about themselves, our mind perceives that my existence is being devalued. This feeling is born from ignorance, avidya, of the truth of impermanence, anicca, the reality that everything changes and will not be as expected. We become attached to the idea that the other person should change or should be the ideal person. but the other person is entirely outside of our control. This desire to control the uncontrollable is the core issue, generating the suffering we call discomfort. The reason why the Buddhist teaching is essential for resolving this trouble is that the Buddha taught the universal law of the mind concerning the cause of suffering, dukkha, and the cessation of suffering, nirodha. What we truly seek is not how to change that person, but a way of being where we do not suffer, even when we encounter that person. And changing that way of being is precisely what the Eightfold Path, Arya Atthangika Magga, which includes right view, right thought, and right action, aims for. Instead of condemning the other person's words and actions as evil, we must adopt the perspective of loving kindness or metta karuna. This person, too, is a being living within their own suffering. This is the only way to build an unshakable inner peace that is not swayed by external stimuli. How can you apply and practice this profound teaching of the Buddha to your modern challenges? First, you need a mental shift. Do not receive the other person's words and actions as a personal attack. Insensitive remarks or self-centered talk are often expressions of that person's anxiety, lack of validation, or inability to take another's perspective. They are unconsciously expressing unfulfilled emotions deep within their hearts. This is the other person's issue, and has absolutely nothing to do with your value or character. In the Buddha's teaching, the other person's action is karma, the result created by their own past actions and thoughts, and you are merely witnessing that result. By taking an objective perspective, thinking, this person is acting from their suffering now, you can prevent emotional entanglement. This is the first step in the practice of right view, arsti, meaning seeing things correctly, as they truly are. Next, as a concrete step, I propose the 4 stages of allowance capacity meditation. Initial observation, creating distance the moment you encounter the unpleasant words. Instantly label the emotion in your mind. I feel uncomfortable, or my heart is closing down. Then, imagine stepping back, both physically and psychologically. For example, leave the area, take 3 deep breaths. Or, close your eyes and look up at the ceiling for a second. This creates a time gap before reacting, training you to break your mind's automatic conditioning. Observation of the connection. What to learn. The meaning of having this connection is not to change the person, but to know yourself more deeply through the reactions this person triggers in you. That person makes you uncomfortable because they stimulate the most sensitive part of your heart, for example, your hidden desire to be acknowledged, or your fear of peace being disrupted. This connection is a valuable teaching tool that shows you what attachment you must let go of most. Ask yourself, what attachment in my heart is hiding behind this discomfort? Practice of loving kindness, expanding allowance. You don't need to sympathize with the person's actions, but you can direct loving kindness or metta, the wish, may this person also be happy. Once you understand that their actions stem from their own anxiety or ignorance, light a small lamp of compassion in your heart. Perhaps this person is suffering too. You don't need to force affection, just allow their existence. Acknowledging that they are expressing the best they have at this moment. Restoring sovereignty, setting boundaries. And the most critical practice is setting firm boundaries. The Buddhist teaching does not require self-sacrifice. If the person's actions continually disturb your peace, you have the right, as right action, samyak karmanta, to distance yourself from them. You do not have to endure an uncomfortable situation just because there is a connection. Taking practical measures such as reducing the time you spend together, keeping conversations formal, or physically distancing yourself is also a correct practice for protecting your own peace of mind. This practice will protect your energy from depletion and allow you to redirect it toward more constructive activities. Through these practices, you will process the other person's words merely as sounds heard by the ear, instead of as poison received by the heart. What we have learned today is that suffering is not born from the external world, but from the internal world, how we react to external events. Understand that the connection with an inconsiderate person is the most direct training ground for strengthening your mind and knowing true peace. What you truly need to learn is not about the other person, but the skill of letting go of the unconscious expectations and attachments in your own heart. Insensitive behavior without malice is a manifestation of the other person's ignorance. Instead of trying to extinguish that flame, keep your own mind as calm as a vast body of water that the flame cannot touch. This is the only way the Buddha taught to reclaim the sovereignty of your mind and overcome discomfort. Observe your own emotions carefully. Allow the other person's existence with a heart of compassion and, if necessary, practice right action by maintaining a wise distance. Your peace of mind is an inner treasure that no one can steal from you. May this teaching light a quiet lamp in your heart and make every step of your daily life a peaceful one. If this story resonated with you and provided some insights or learning, I'd be delighted if you could press the like button. Also, if you subscribe to the channel, I'll be able to continue sharing various life wisdom and lessons with you. Please share your experiences and thoughts in the comments section as well. Each person's experience becomes valuable learning for other viewers. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end today. I look forward to meeting you all again in the next video.